Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much for joining this session today. The world we are living in today is changing rapidly, and the speed has got even faster over the last 12 months due to COVID-19. The pandemic has resulted in many shifts in consumer behavior around the world, including Southeast Asia. Some behavior may be short-term, some may continue to stick after the pandemic. But it's not only COVID-19. There are also many other underlying factors shaping Southeast Asian consumer behavior in the red meat industry today as well. So we'll find out what they are over the next 20 minutes. We'll be looking at some key megatrends shaping consumer in the red meat industry around the world today and exploring where Southeast Asia is at on the stable stage. We'll be then deep diving into trends that are unique to the Southeast Asian region. Before we go into the trends, we'll start by looking at some macro driving force that makes Southeast Asia an attractive market for Australian red meat export. We'll end the section with some key takeaways on area where represent the biggest opportunity for Australian red meat, which is for your business in Southeast Asia in the next 3 to 5 years. Just a quick housekeeping before I start. I would like to encourage you to make a lot of questions and please leave them in the chat tab. We may not be able to answer all the questions today, but I will make sure to follow up afterwards. Thank you, and let's get started. So at macro level, Southeast Asia has many strong fundamentals for growth. It has large, young consumer base, rising income, a vibrant food culture, booming modern retail and food service, a fast-growing economy, and strong tourism sector, even though the sector is currently heavily impacted by COVID-19. Southeast Asia is a fast-growing market, having 6 countries in the top 20 global market for Australian beef export, with Vietnam and Thailand the fastest growing, especially Vietnam is a standout. Now, moving on to mega trends. There are many trends that are shaping consumer behavior today globally. It's important to note that often trends are not mutually exclusive. Many of them are interconnected and accelerated faster by technology. Some of the key mega trends influencing the way consumers do in red meat in the red meat industry around the globe today are total health and well-being, sustainability, environment, convenience, and connected consumer. On total health and well-being, focusing on health is growing as a phenomenon around the globe and is extended beyond physical health. Consumers are taking a holistic approach to health, spanning across both physical and inner well-being. As a result, we are seeing a growing demand for products that enhance life rather than simply make superficial change. Health has been one of the top priority for Southeast Asian consumers as a result of rising issues impacting health such as air, water pollution, food safety, poor diets due to busier lifestyle, and also increasing healthcare costs recently. Southeast Asian consumers have a shared belief, which is they think it's better prevent than cure, and this is a common attitude of Southeast Asian consumers when it comes to health management. Many consumers are adjusting their diet as well as lifestyle to stay healthy. Many are switching to a healthier diet, looking for more healthy food choice. Some are doing more exercise. A small portion are looking into health supplement products. The idea is of using health food to manage health, accelerate growing consumer interest in fresh, natural, organic products across the region. In response to the rising consumer concerns and needs for health, food players are gearing up to lead the trend. A wide range of innovation has been introduced to consumer across the markets, and innovation comes in various ways, whether it's a new product development or telling a right story behind the product, or redesign product labelings, which is simply call out the health benefits of that product, or an entirely new intervention. COVID-19 has accelerated consumer need for healthy food choice, and this trend is anticipated to continue going forward. Next, we'll be talking about sustainability and environment. Climate change and environment has grown to be a hot topic in recent years, and it is creating a new era of consumerism, leading by a growing number of mindful consumers around the world. Consumers do not stop at just being aware or worry about the environmental issue around them. They are taking action about it as well by demanding companies to take responsibility to help improve the environment. They refuse to buy from brands, buy products that have negative impacts on the environment and the society, and they are likely to support brands or companies whose purpose aligns with theirs. Shifting consumer attitude to the environment has turned into business opportunities. On a global scale, some certain product category with sustainable claims show stronger sales growth than their traditional counterpart. Southeast Asian consumers are also following the trend. Taking product packaging as an example, packaging that is environmentally friendly is now valued by Southeast Asian consumers. More importantly, about half of consumers say they are happy to pay a bit more for brand with sustainable claim. In response to this growing trend, major retailers across the region are taking the lead in incorporating sustainability into their business. And it comes in various ways, from reducing the use of plastic to sustainable sourcing. Next, we'll be looking at convenience, how it is changing consumer behavior and what it means for us. Changing lifestyle, evolving role of women in the society have led to a rapid growth in consumer demand for convenient meal options that help save consumer time and make their life easier. We are seeing a rise in a wide range of meal solutions in the marketplace to respond to this growing consumer demand, and those solutions extend beyond traditional category definition, such as we can say the rapid rise on on-demand food delivery. And how relevant is this trend to the mid category? Convenient proposition can drive competitiveness. This table looks a bit busy, but if you just focus on the bright blue box, you will see a pattern. Basically, the table shows the top 5 most important factors influencing consumer decision when selecting between different meat protein for their daily meals across a number of major export markets of Australian red meat, including the 4 key markets in Southeast Asia. The price blue box denotes consumer need for ease of purchase and preparation. As you see, it is very clear that easy to purchase and easy to prepare is among the top priority for consumer when they buy meat, and this trend is consistent across the market globally. In light of the global trend, we are seeing many convenient solutions already being offered in the marketplace across Southeast Asia, and they come in various forms, from ready cuts as for meat, and ready to cook, ready to eat products or other services that provide consumer with a shortcut to their meal times. We're also seeing a rapid rise in online food delivery, accelerated even faster since COVID-19 restrictions. Now move on to connected consumer. Technology is changing consumer behavior in various ways and throughout their shopping journey. It's enabled consumers to gain knowledge about a product or claim. And most importantly, it's enabled consumers to share the experience instantly with their friends or families, with word of mouth often having a profound impact on consumers' purchase decision. Interestingly, Southeast Asia remains the most engaged mobile internet region in the world, having 6 markets in the list of top 10 countries with highest time spending per day on mobile internet. Thailand, Philippines, Indonesia, Malaysia top the list, followed by Vietnam and Singapore. Social interaction and communication are top activities Southeast Asian consumers use on the internet, followed by watching video. So what does this mean for business? Firstly, e-commerce is booming in the region. Online grocery shopping market is still small, but it is growing rapidly and have been accelerated even faster by COVID-19. Although some consumers indicate they might switch back to their traditional ways of buying grocery, 5 in 10 consumers in Indonesia, 4 in 10 in Malaysia say that they will continue to use online as a channel to purchase their grocery when things return to normal. Secondly, and more importantly, the cyber community has strong influence on the Southeast Asian consumer purchasing behavior. Technologies and the internet is not limited to online shopping. It represents a great opportunity for business to stay connected with consumer, to build rapport relationship with them, to tell the great story, say, of Australian red meat product in a way that resonates with what consumer value, which in turn entices consumer into buying and advocating for Australian red meat. So we have been talking about the global trend and where Southeast Asia is at the moment on the global stage. In this section, we'll deep dive into trends that are unique to the Southeast Asian region and also explore how they can be translated into business opportunity. We'll be talking about the 4 key trends shaping demand for Australian red meat in the region. The young aspirational consumer with strong appetite for novel dining experience, the importance of family, children, and friends, and connection between them, strong desire for peace of mind, safety, and trust in food product, and finally, the niche but lucrative market targeting the super rich consumer segment. Not only Southeast Asian consumers are digitally connected, they are also highly connected in the physical world as well, and often no socializing occasion would be complete without good food. 40% of the Southeast Asian population are from 15 to 39 years old, equivalent to approximately 260 million people, about the size of the entire population in Indonesia. The young consumer generally have strong passion for food, not to mention they dine out a lot, and when eating out, they love to explore new food trends, like to indulge themselves with more expensive food or experiment cuisine from other culture. Maintaining strong mutual relationship with extended families and close friends is one of the important aspects in life for Southeast Asian consumer. Regularly visit one another's house and have meal together is a tradition for many society across the region. Busier lifestyle or migration to big city for work may not allow consumers to visit their families as much as they used to. But there is always a strong desire to do so, as we can see from the case of Singapore. Most consumers want to have a meal together or celebrate special event with their family. So this represents an opportunity for Australian red meat to play a role in this space by joining consumers in by building bonds, happy time with their families, friends through good cut of meat or inspiring healthy novel recipes. Next is the growing power in family purchase decision of the little consumers. Children are becoming more precious as today's family have much less children than their parent generation, partly driven by reduced birth rate and increased women roles in the society. Young parents therefore seek to do the best they can for their children. This trend is driving demand for food products with not only nutritional value but also just quality. Moving on to the next trend, we are seeing a growing need across the region for product transparency. Not only consumers care about the origin of the product, they also want to know how the product has been treated along the supply chain. This trend is strongly correlated with rising consumer needs for health. Safety is, in fact, the number one factor in the consumer mind when they buy red meat during COVID outbreak. Last but not least, Southeast Asian region is home to approximately 6,000 individuals with a net worth of $30 million or above, and expected to have 1,500 more over the next 2 years. The region is also home to some of the most expensive restaurants within Asia, with Singapore topping the list. This represents a niche but lucrative market for Australian red meat to explore. So we talked about global trends and trends that are unique to Southeast Asia. Now you may be wondering, yes, I know that there are many trends representing many opportunities, but where do I start? Recently, we have created a tool to help the industry with identify the biggest opportunities among many opportunities. The purple chart that you are seeing show the 6 biggest opportunities or growth drivers for Australian red meat in Southeast Asia within the next 3 to 5 years. The y-axis represent incremental value growth, and the x-axis represent the score of Australian industry ability to impact against each of the growth drivers. The size of the purple represents the relative share among these 6 growth drivers. In summary, let's get together, which is all about friends, family gathering, bondings, and special occasion is the number one growth driver, followed by best for me and my family, which is about health and nutritional choice for family and especially for children. Peace of mind is the third, concerning safety, trust, quality, freshness, and naturalness. Next is taste different, which means novelty, premium dining experience, and unique taste of Australia. Make life easier, which is convenient meal solution, is the fifth. And finally, the Rich Asian, which, as the name suggests, target the millionaires and billionaires market. We borrowed the name from a popular movie released a couple of years ago. If you haven't watched it, I would recommend you to do so over the weekend. It's entertaining, and also we give you a sense of what the Crazy Rich Asian consumer look like. It's important to note here that these growth drivers are not mutually exclusive. The size of the drivers as well as Australian ability to impact vary across the market. So for better targeting and positioning, it's critical to look at this opportunity by market individually. And Australian red meat is well placed to capture those 6 drivers, growing up on the big platform, the big 4 platform that the industry is operating, which is True Aussie brand, integrity system, the Good Meat or Carbon Neutral 2030 framework, and Meat Standards Australia, a consumer-led eating quality rating system. And that brings us to the end. I would like to thank you for your time and attention. I hope that you will leave this session today with a clearer vision of where you can start with or stay focused on your Southeast Asian business. If you have any questions, please do not forget to leave them in the chat tab. We'll get back to you. I wish you all a very productive networking and success. Thank you.
Thanks, Lynn. Before you leave, Lynn, there is a question that has come through in the chat, but also just generally a few sort of points to close off before you leave. So sounds really exciting. There's lots of change happening in the market, and COVID's obviously pushed some of that forward around e-commerce and other things, but some of the big ones that I saw obviously was around the meal solutions, potential for e-commerce, noting again that it's coming from a really, really low base, but looking at doing things differently seems to be a bit of a trend that's happening generally from some of your notes. If we can go to the research itself, where did a lot of this information come from, and how can people access it? Especially noting that we've got pretty diverse region from Singapore in the stage of development it's at throughout the region. So how can people access this information for their specific markets?
In terms of access to information, I think within the team, I think we help build the True Aussie website, and I think that's a great venue where exporter or importer can get more information about the consumer trend or market trend, what's happening in the market. Beside that, and of course, we have a big team, Valeska, yourself, myself, we have introduced earlier, and I would encourage the audience today, just feel free to reach out to us to get information about the area that you are interested in.
No problems. And specifically on the information and how you gathered it, the priorities, the question specifically that came through the chat was priorities and the priority setting for preference for easy purchasing or the decisions that they're making. They were set as a priority driver. Is that correct? In terms of priorities, they were set from top to bottom as the key priorities for each market.
Oh, you mean the bubble chart?
Yes. I think so.
Yes, yeah. So that priorities or prioritization were listed against the incremental growth opportunity, and also against Australian ability to impact on that driver as well. Let's take one as an example. I can go back to that. See, I think have a look at. That's for me and my families. In terms of the size compared to Let's Get Together, it has smaller size, but in terms of the ability of Australian industry to impact, it has stronger ability. So yeah, it's prioritized based on opportunity value as well as Australian ability to impact on that driver. I hope that answer your question.
No problems. And Valeska, if you can, sorry, Lynn, if you can go back maybe 5 or so slides to there was a table that had maybe 1, 2, keep going.
Keep going.
It's 100 slides back now.
Okay. No, it's not 100 slides. I think it's one.
No, keep going. Actually, a little bit more. There was that's one. That one there. I believe this is what the question was referring to. How did you come to this table?
So we do, at MLA, we conduct global consumer tracker every year and tracking consumer behavior, meat consumption, and their perception about red meat in comparison to another competitive meat such as chicken, pork, seafood, etc., and also to track consumer perception about Australian red meat product compared to our competitors. And this table, actually, there's a lot of work happening behind that.
That's probably enough, Lynn. Just that there's a lot of research that's already been going. There's a big question
happened behind that to get to this table. And one of the priority for us as well, to help the industry with, like some digestible, actionable insight rather than a lot of information like untouched.
Yep, no problems. And then there's 2 more questions if we still have time, I hope. No one's kicking me off this session yet. So if we can just quickly ask about your e-commerce and the trends we're seeing around e-commerce. Does that equally apply to fresh food as much as it does to other commodities? And where does fresh food sit into that?
So recently, there's some good insight from the 2020 Global Consumer Tracker, the study that I just referred to. Based on the study, we've seen that quite about like 30 to 35% of consumer actually said that they use e-commerce or online platform to purchase red meat more than they used to do that before the pandemic. But I think yesterday we also discussed about the e-commerce, and we have one panelist from the Happy Fresh to talk us through about the online trend within the grocery sector as well. And grocery fresh product in particular account for approximately 3% currently of the total grocery sales. But even though it's small, but has been accelerated by COVID disruptions so far this year. Going forward, I think it's going to grow continuously, but as the nature and also a strong reference of Southeast Asian consumer for seeing the meat, touching it, and experimenting it before buying. So I think it will be both online and offline channel will be continue growing afterwards.
Thanks, Lynn. Look, there's a question in the chat around packaging and trends around packaging. I think we'll leave that question to David Carew and the others in the panel. But at this stage, really like to say great appreciation for your insights, Lynn, and again to everybody listening in. We have a number of insights that we have, and we'd love to share them with you and look at how they can apply specifically for your markets. And to one of Lynn's end points, we are talking about a diverse range of markets here, and every one of those trends don't sit in isolation. There is overlap, and they vary in their applications across markets and across cities within markets. So really happy to use those insights to inform how you move forward so that you can make good business decisions. But again, appreciate your time today, Lynn. We will be taking a short drink break now. Please stay online. If you really need to, then you can pop into the Exporter Showcase quickly to say hello to an exporter if you haven't already, or reach out by direct message to somebody that you've seen in the chat. So Lynn will be hanging around if anybody wants to send her some direct messages, which I'm sure they already have. Yeah, we'll just take a quick break now, and we'll be back with our panel discussion after the break. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Michael.